What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 19 of the Let's Talk Nerdy podcast. On this episode, we are talking Godzilla Kong New Empire, Rugrats Adventures in Gameland, Turok 3 Remaster, Prince of Persia, Lost Crown.
I threw you such a bone this week, and I'm going to be so upset if you don't get this. Are you ready? Underlay, mommy, EI, uh-oh. What's popping tonight?
Uh-oh, what's happening now? That's some Nelly.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
You are now tuned in to the Let's Talk Nerdy podcast.
I love it when you talk nerdy to me.
Finally.
Let's go. Let's go.
I knew that one. I knew that one.
I said 1 week we were going to get you, Nelly. We got you, Nelly. Let's go.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah,
oh,
now you're going to be singing it all night, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go after this and start singing some Nelly. I'm going to look it up. Alexa, play Nelly. Just
But
Nelly.
I forget the name of the song. Ride with me. I think it's Ride with me. Anyway, Adam, what is up, my dude?
Look at me
also,
now.
Real quick, I want to throw out here for all the peeps before they point it out in the comments. I have a stain on my shirt right here and right here, and I'm not sure what it's from.
What are you doing?
I'm not sure what it's from, but we're gonna roll with it. How was your week, dude? How was your week?
All right, we're gonna talk about work for a second. Let's
Do it.
For my work, I have to travel, right? I have to travel on the bus with the teams and whatnot. So yesterday we went to this game. We played the game. Well, actually, as we're traveling down there, I almost missed the bus. The coach has to come and tell me, Adam, we're on the bus, ready to go. I was like, oh, shoot. So I grabbed my things, I rushed over there, and we still left on time. So he was freaking out for nothing. Anyway, so coach, I like you. I was on time.
I like you a lot, but calm down, bro.
Yeah,
Let's just take it easy.
So I almost missed the bus. We get to the town where our game is. Our bus driver creams a car in the parking lot that was just parked there. Yeah. And we felt so bad. It was this old man, he was so nice, and I felt so bad. I was like, but there's nothing we can do. So we all just got off the bus and we're like, see you later, bus driver. Have fun dealing with this. Because we didn't know
no.
We were at our destination. We had to get ready for the game, but there's nothing we could have done. And then on the way back, we stop at a gas station because the old man, he needed a pit stop, right? So he had to get off the bus. So we're all we're just waiting. He comes back. The airlock on the bus wouldn't let go. So we were stuck for 30 minutes. He again, I feel bad for this guy. He's a little old man. He asked the coach, he's like, hey, can you push the button? I think my hands are too tired right now. I can't push the button. And so we were stranded for 30 minutes as they're trying to unlock the airlock. Luckily, they finally did. But he was all over the road. It was a rough ride.
Poor guy. That's a tough situation. That's a tough situation, when you know it's time for somebody to hang up the ropes and you're like, bro, it's time, dude.
It is time,
what are you doing?
He was such a nice dude though, but
they're always the nicest too, and you never want to be like, you should probably retire. You probably should have retired 10 years ago, but
or just command the fleet from an office, you're in charge of everybody. You know what I mean?
Get a job you could kick your feet up and read the paper and just be on the phone. Go over to school 47. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's your job now.
That's where he needs to be. But other than that, it was a good weekend. What games are you playing right now?
Oh, my dude. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been gaming very, very much.
Okay.
But I'm still just jamming Armored Core. I can't. It's okay. I don't want to put my skills out there and have people be like, "Yo, Dave, what's going on?" It is hard, bro. It is hard. I'm getting to parts where it's I was not ready for this, and we talked about it. And if you guys haven't seen the short video, you can go check that out. But we talked about a lot of things, and a lot of those things did end up coming true. And it's very much you have to kind of plan for the future in your build and stuff like that. And I don't think that I built very well.
So he's got to restart his run at Armored Core.
Yeah, but we're still jamming on a little Armored Core. What are you playing?
I am playing Starfield and a lot I love it. I think it's great. I'm
The
having
reviews
a
are
blast.
great.
Yeah, it held up to the hype. We talk about the games that like are so hyped up, but they just kind of fall flat. There's bugs, but there's bugs in
Yeah.
every game that we play. But it's a game like a type of game I've never really played, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm really engulfing myself, trying to get myself to slow down, and I think that's why I'm enjoying it so much because I feel like I'm in the game. I'm like reading about like the lore when I'm playing. I'm trying to like understand like my character, the characters around me. So I think it's really cool. There's one part though, I do not like the health system. So if you die, you just go to your last load save. So if you have a little bit of health, you're at your last load save, and like. It's happened to me like 3 times now where like my ship is like on the last leg of health and I travel to a different galaxy and then I just get destroyed. And I'm like, well, shoot, I'm screwed. And then so I get stuck in this loop, and then I finally figured out that I can go back to a later or earlier save. And then, but it's been frustrating. Like I feel like if you die, give me all my health back.
I hate when they do that. It puts you in like an infinite death loop and a hard stop. And I found myself doing that in Dead Space all of the time. Like Dead Space was notorious for just not giving you any of your health back when you reloaded your save file. And it's just like you would get through the most treacherous of parts and you would have like a sliver of health left. And you'd be like, oh my God, I made it. And you get to a save point and you're like, wait a second, do I save or do I try to redo that all over again with more health? And you're just like, I hate that I have to make this decision right now.
Yeah. But it's been a super fun game. I actually really enjoy the story right now. There's gonna be no spoilers or anything. I would write a review, but the game is so massive and so many people are writing stuff about this game. All I could say is it's a game worth playing if you are into that kind of game.
A quick review. Just give it a quick score, just out of 10. What do we got?
I'm giving it a 9.
You're gonna give it a 9 out of 10?
I'll give it a 9. I think that the last point would have been some of those bugs. I think it'd be really cool with some ground vehicles. I think that's a big miss. It takes a while to get around the maps and stuff. And you know me, I'm a multiplayer guy, but I know that will never happen in Starfield. But like, just come on, just a little, just like a tease of multiplayer have been fun. But it's a great game. 9 out of 10. Totally recommend. Give it a shot. Sorry for all you PlayStation players, you won't be able to, but Xbox and PC, give it a shot for sure.
I have heard nothing but good things about this game, and I'm honestly just excited that we have a game that was super hyped and actually kind of lived up to the hype for once, instead of us having to come on here and be like, well, they shit the bed again.
What else is new with game developers? But
yeah,
I think there's good games coming out. I think a lot of good games coming out, and maybe a good movie with our first topic of Godzilla Kong, New Empire.
We're doing the movie first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
we're doing the movie first. So shout out to my brother who pointed this one out to me, who is super excited for this game, Godzilla X Kong. Oh yeah, we do games so many times that movie's not even in my repertoire anymore. Shout out Godzilla X Kong. I am actually super excited for this. And I have a question. Would you like me to take the reins, or would you like to jump in? I'll jump in
periodically. Okay, I'm gonna start with. We're gonna go into the first one. Let me give my opinion of the first one.
Okay.
All right. Actually, I'm gonna ask this question first. Who won the fight, Godzilla vs Kong?
I'm glad you went here. I'm so glad that you went here. Because the answer to that question, regardless of what people want to feel, is Godzilla. Godzilla won the battle.
I would agree. I would agree, but also I think it's kind of a yes, Godzilla won, but it was like a tie almost. Like a lot of people argue a tie. I think Godzilla had the slight advantage in saying that won. But here's where I'm going with this. It's turned into one of those I beat you, but we're best friends situations. I hate that. Like, come on.
Did we just become best friends?
Exactly. Yep. Godzilla vs. Kong, Step Bros. Did we just become best friends? Yep. I'm gonna have to make that another YouTube video.
We should make it another short. Okay. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. So here's the thing. Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. I think we need to go back because I think not a lot of people might actually know kind of like the history of King Kong and Godzilla, and I think it's important to know that going into these movies. So King Kong Godzilla, do you know when the first fight was?
Nope.
It was in 1962.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so this goes all the way back. In 1962 movie was Godzilla versus King Kong. In that movie, Godzilla wins in decisive fashion. Fashion wins over Kong, right? So that's kind of their first real meeting together. So
Gotcha.
Godzilla's already got kind of the advantage here, right? And then a lot of people don't really know that like there is a comic like around Godzilla that's not just about the movies. They've kind of taken the franchise. They call it the MonsterVerse as it's still known, but it's called the MonsterVerse. And in the comics, there's a comic book called Godzilla Dominion, which is a graphic novel, which is a prequel to this original 1962 Godzilla vs. Kong. And in that, there are references to Kong beating Godzilla, but that happened before the Titan War, and that means a lot, right? So there is one technical time in history when King Kong beat Godzilla, but the thing with the Titan War, War takes place in the secret Hollow Earth world and was a fight between Godzilla and the Kong ancestors. And at the end of that secret war, the Kongs did end up quote unquote beating Godzilla, but in the end they fled and went to Skull Island. So that's how the Kong ancestors all ended up on Skull Island.
Gotcha.
So if you look back before the Titan War, Godzilla is technically an infant before the Titan War. So the one time that the Kong ancestors actually kind of got their leg up on Godzilla,
Godzilla.
It was basically a baby. Right? Okay. So if you put all of this together, I think the way that they're doing this movie with the Step Brothers thing is kind of the way to go, because if you just did this as another Godzilla versus Kong movie, Godzilla has to win. Don't you think?
I would say so. It seems like because he has the advantage across the board. Like he can go in water, he can like shoot laser beams. He's like, he's just bigger and I agree. That I don't think there's a way that Kong could realistically win, except for Kong gets more help from the human race rather than Godzilla fighting for himself. So that's Kong needs help. Godzilla doesn't.
Right, yeah. Kong always gets the leg up because the human race is always trying to help him. But I think that the way that they've designed this movie is actually very, very good. And because we talk about this all the time with the whole Step Brothers thing, I like the fact that they've kind of figured out a way where they could make this battle make sense in an outcome that actually has like a 50-50 chance where you're going into the movie not expecting one character to win.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I really like that. I mean, usually, we ragged on Batman v Superman like so hard that like when they do this kind of thing, I'm usually all not about it, but I'm actually kind of about it on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So what is this movie going to be about?
So if you want to know a little bit about this movie, basically, like we talked about, they are joining forces, and they're joining forces against a common enemy, and that common enemy at this point is Alpha Kong. Now, in the MonsterVerse, there's a couple of things that you need to know. So, like we talked about, the Titan War. Let's go back to the Titan War. The Titan War takes place in the secret Hollow Earth world, and in the secret Hollow Earth world, this is basically based on real life events that people have kind of always had this belief. Dates all the way back to the 18th century that there is like a second universe kind of world within the Earth's core that human life can't see. So this is happening inside the core of the Earth, which is a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
And basically if you kind of look in the grand scheme of the monsterverse, so the monsterverse is full of titans, and the titans are all of these characters, all of these monsters. And if you look at the hierarchy of these titans, once a titan becomes so powerful and so experienced and has so much reputation in battle, it becomes what's known as an alpha titan. And I think that's what they're introducing in this, is that Kong and Godzilla are going to be joining forces in order to destroy the Alpha Kong who of Middle Earth. And
I
that's
understand.
the premise of the movie.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
If you want to roll the trailer, I think I think with everybody knowing that, it's everything that you're going to see now is going to kind of make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And yeah, like right from the beginning, you kind of just see what you're talking about. Like somebody leading the top, and then here's Godzilla's head coming up right here, and Kong's like skulls. They're skulls.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, and you can see that there's a couple key things if you look at that little kind of teaser there, right? You know that that's not Kong, and you know that that's not Kong for two reasons, and one is right here. Look at his eyes.
Yep. And just the shape of his body too. It's not like very Kong-like. Let's play it again because it's only 35 seconds, so we can kind of dive into it a little bit closer here.
Yeah. So if you look at the build on his arms right here, right?
Yeah.
So you can obviously tell that this is not Kong. And if you look at his head shape, it almost looks like he's giving you this appearance of like an older person. Don't you feel like just in his mannerisms and like in his body shape, it's giving you this appearance of like an older. So that's why I think they're giving you that kind of alpha, the alpha Kong status.
Yeah, and I think kind of going off that, like you said, like it shows that he's experienced in battle with all the other bones and the skulls and like skeletons right like in front of him, showing that he's had to work his way there. Okay.
Yeah, so you're seeing a lot of the bones, and then obviously you're seeing the skulls of Godzilla and King Kong right here, and I think that is like a premonition that they're using of like what would happen if this Alpha Kong did actually reign victorious.
Right.
Yeah.
That's gonna be pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I'm super excited about it, and a lot of people are probably thinking like, you know, what is this Alpha Kong? Like Dave, you just talked about how the Kong species has never really beaten a Godzilla. Like, why would this Kong species be able to take on not only Godzilla but also King Kong? And you know, why would this be any type of threat? And the one thing is the eyes. Did you notice the eyes?
He had different color eyes, right? Like
he had blue eyes, but the blue eyes are glowing, right?
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing, because if you know anything about like the secret Middle Earth or any of you know, like they've said all this in the movies and everything like that, there is this abundance of like a very powerful element in Middle Earth, and that glows blue. So I'm wondering if this Alpha Kong is able to like channel the energy from this element, and then like it's showing that in his eyes because it's glowing blue the exact same way as the element is. And I'm wondering if this is giving him like very different types of abilities than just an ancestor of Kong.
I think so. Kind of. He's going Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
Super
exactly.
Saiyan Kong. Yeah,
it's
that's
like
pretty
a Super
cool.
Saiyan Kong.
And I wonder, so kind of going off that, like you said, I wonder, so if this Kong, maybe this Alpha Kong hasn't faced Godzilla to make his way up, where like, because there's other monsters within the Monsterverse. So he's like, maybe he made it through all of these, and Godzilla was like, I don't want to fight yet. And now Godzilla's like, now I want to fight because I got Kong on my side.
Like a Mortal Kombat, like Godzilla is the Sang Shung, and he's just like, you have to work your way up to this battle.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking. It's like a Mortal Kombat of King Kong and Godzilla. It's a tournament. Yeah, that's the vibes I'm getting out of it. So that's funny.
You have to prove yourself worthy before I'll face you, type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's funny.
So maybe the last straw was beating Kong in the last movie, and he's like, oh, well, Kong won, but now they're teaming up. How fair is this? That's funny.
Yeah, but cool. I think it's gonna be really, really cool, and I think like we talked about it's a situation where you're going into the movie not really knowing what to expect, because we know a little bit about Alpha Kong, but not a lot. So
Right.
they really have a lot of like ways that they can go with this. And I think, you know, like as we've said it 100 times, with the glowing blue eyes is really, really, really important. And I think you're gonna start to see some stuff that you're like, oh my god, that's crazy. I didn't think I didn't think a Kong could do that, because it's not typically powers that a Kong would have. I mean, if you look at King Kong, he's very smart and like brute force, but not a lot of actual ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like if you look at Godzilla, like he's you know he's doing like the atomic breath and like all that crazy stuff. Like, what if this Alpha Kong has the ability to do like Godzilla's atomic breath, but like shoot it Cyclops style, like out of its eyes or something great like that? Like
that's gonna be pretty cool,
dude. It would be crazy.
I think like I liked the first movie, but like I said, I didn't really like the Step Bros thing at the end. But I think this one is going to be like pure like action the whole time, just fight after fight, and I think that's gonna make it really cool and interesting. So I'm excited for this one.
I think it's going to be really interesting too, and I wish they had more of a return to like the 1960s kind of style of this, where like the one thing about the new Kong and like Godzilla and like the MonsterVerse movies and stuff like that is humans have a lot of like interaction.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I would like it. It's more so just them versus them, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be much better if they're like all the humans are running for their lives and not so much like trying to be like, let me help. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because I remember the old Godzilla movies. There's no like interaction. It's just like Godzilla like terrorizing everything.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody like being able to do anything. So I wish that was the case instead of like them all helping Kong and Godzilla in this next movie. I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean the old movies, it was basically just like, you know, all the human beings are just like sitting around and like praying for the one that's on their side to win. It's like it's like a return to that would be nice. You know what I mean? Where it's like it really just is about the monster battle. Yeah, so we'll see what we get there, but I am really, really, really excited for this movie.
I'm super excited. There's also, not going to go into it too much tonight, but I sent you the video on this one too, the Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Like that's going to be about Godzilla too. I didn't look into it too much. I just saw like a quick trailer. I didn't dive into it as much, but so there's a lot of Godzilla stuff coming out, and that's kind of cool to see that they're bringing Godzilla into more and more things, and King Kong, because let's be honest, those are two of the coolest monsters, like fictional monsters. You know what I mean?
The MonsterVerse was always kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like I always really enjoyed that stuff. Even like as cheesy as the old movies are and stuff, where it's obviously, you know, it's just a guy in like a plastic suit or whatever, and you're just like, okay, well, it's kind of stupid, but it's, you know, just the idea of it was just really creative, and I always really, really liked it, and I'm glad that there's more content coming out about it.
What was that game? Wasn't there a video game kind of based off of this? Or was like King Kong, Godzilla? There's like the flying, like I can't remember. Do you know what I'm talking
Mothra?
about? What was it called?
Mothra?
Yeah, wasn't there one?
The flying one?
Yeah, wasn't there one where like you could fight? Like it was like a 2D like Mortal Kombat style fighting game. King Kong.
Was there a game like that?
Fighting game. Let's see.
Monster fighting game?
Yeah. War of Monsters, does that sound right?
How old are we talking?
PlayStation
Like
2, it was. Check it out.
It was called War of Monsters?
Yeah. Here, I'm going to share my screen really quick. I forgot about this game. Like, it's been so long. Sorry, it's too small. I'll pull it up a little closer. Okay. War of Monsters. But,
yeah, I'm super excited for this movie. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be everything that the monster fans want to see. We're gonna get some new stuff. I mean, I know they are doing the Step Brothers thing, which is, you know, not ideal, but in this context, it does kind of make sense. Maybe the humans will stay out of the way this time, and we'll get just a really epic monster battle.
yeah, stay out of the way, peoples.
Yeah, stay out of the way, people. You're not helping.
Yeah, you're making things worse. But with that said, Godzilla Kong is a good combo and good monsters. We should do a little bit of a monster draft. Monster draft.
I'm excited for this one. I think I think I might take it on this one. We will do the coin flip, even
Yeah,
though
yeah.
the coin is weighted and nonsense. But it's
You're
okay.
gonna win this time.
Nope, I lost
Oh, dang
as
it.
usual.
Monster draft. Picking our favorite monsters, and I'm gonna start it off like you have. I'm gonna go Godzilla as my number one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna do that. I knew you were gonna do that. Balls.
Balls.
Okay.
Hey, honestly, I think our lists are gonna be too different, like completely different things. I don't think you have very many more after that of mine.
Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, with my first overall pick, since Adam took the one true king of the monsters in Godzilla, I'm gonna go with Godira. Let's go, baby. That's all I have to say is it's the 3-headed dragon. So
Yeah, that's a good one.
luck.
That's a very good one.
Good luck.
I'm gonna go. I know it's kind of like cheating, but I'm going Predator. He's a monster. Is that cheating? Would you like me to change it? Okay, I'll change it. I'll change it. I'll take Kong then as my number 2. Like my number 2 is King Kong.
I thought we were sticking to the monster verse.
I mean, he's kind of a monster, alien kind of deal. I understand. I took it back.
Okay,
Number 2 is Godzilla or King Kong.
You're doing King Kong? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, with my second overall pick, I will be taking Rodan. All I have to say is he's basically a flying flamethrower, so let's
That's
go.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's sick.
My third pick, I'm going a little goofy here, but Stay Puffed from Ghostbusters.
What kind of draft is this? What?
I told you I was going to make it like, it's a great monster.
What is happening right now, dude? What
Stay
is
Puffed
happening?
from Ghostbusters. He's a cool dude.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
That's what you're taking as your third
Yeah.
pick. Okay.
Don't underestimate the Stay Puffs.
I would love to see the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man fight Godira, the 3-headed dragon.
All right, well, just say you've already won. But I mean, I have Godzilla and Kong on my team, so.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Okay. All right, you know what? I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to let you have it. Just because it's too amazing to not let you have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 3. I will be taking the one and only Mothra. And I know what you're thinking. Mothra is not that strong. But I will say Mothra can lay an egg. And laying the egg will reborn Mothra. It should never die. Never die. You can never kill
That's
it.
infinite loop. Infinite loop.
The infinite life loop. I'm taking it.
Okay, my fourth pick, I'm going to go a little bit Norse mythology, Marvel. I'm going with Surtur.
What is happening?
What? How's that a bad pick?
What is happening in this draft right now? Okay.
He's a monster.
Why are you going there? Why are you going there?
Because he's cool.
It's
I
Adam,
like the way he looked in Ragnarok.
Adam is just ignoring all of the rules of the draft and just
How's
picking
that-
things that look cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a monster. He's a monster. What's the definition of a monster?
I thought we were doing in the MonsterVerse only.
Oh, no. I just looked up monsters, fictional monsters.
I had so many other monsters that I wanted to put on my list, but I kept it straight to the MonsterVerse.
Nope. Sorry. I did not. I picked the ones that I think are the coolest and the most fun. All right, let's hear your fifth pick. You're going to love my fifth pick.
My fourth pick. I gotta do my fourth pick.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, your fourth
Yeah,
pick.
okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my fourth pick. I'm gonna take Cilia. All I have to say is it's a giant spider, and I hate spiders.
Yeah.
And a giant one just seems terrifying, so I'm not gonna face that at all, ever.
So
Please tell me what your fifth pick is.
my fifth pick, I have two here. They're both kind of funny and kind of silly, but my fifth pick is Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
Fail. This is the fail. Epic, but why? Why are you taking Stitch from Lilo and Stitch?
He's a strong monster. Can't say he's not.
Okay. My dude, Cilia is gonna bite Stitch's head off in 0.4 seconds. Okay.
All right. I didn't say I was going to win because of pure power, but Yeah, I lost. I lost in terms of the.
I don't think it's necessary, but my last pick, we're gonna go with the skull crawlers. You can say what you want about the skull crawlers; they're not the most menacing, but they are pack hunters. And if you get, they're like the velociraptors of the MonsterVerse. Good luck,
Yeah,
pack hunter, clever
I'll
girls. Let's go.
I will take the loss on this one. I think you won, but you got to admit, mine's a fun group. If you want a group of monsters to hang out with, mine's up there.
If I wanted to throw like a monster birthday party and have a good time, like your group is the group that I would invite.
And we're throwing it for Godzilla because that's funny. Well, listen to my backup ones because I didn't think you were going to take any of mine, but my backups were Bowser and then my
Bowser
yeah,
from Mario.
Yeah. And then my other one was Reptar. That's my other backup pick. Oh, jeez. But it was a good draft. It was a fun draft. Obviously, yours is more powerful than mine, but
it was a good draft. We had a good time. That's going to be an awesome short. I can't wait for that to go as a short. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Speaking of Reptar,
Rugrats. Adam, go ahead.
Our next topic is Rugrats Adventures in Gameland. Dave, you texted me. Why are we reviewing this video or this game?
Exactly what I texted. That's the exact game.
And that my answer to you was it's my childhood in a game, basically. And I was excited. Every Rugrats game I've played, I've loved. Like, I can't remember all of the ones I've played. The golf one probably sticks out the most in my memory. The little Rugrats golf. I love that one. There's just so much to say about nostalgia. And that's what I get when I watch this trailer of Rugrats Adventures in Gameland.
I think we need to watch let's watch the trailer first before we say anything, because I'm not sure if everybody knows what game we're talking about, and I think it's very important to see the gameplay before we jump into it. Yeah.
Oop, there we go.
So here I was excited. And I was like, wow, they really went retro. Like, that's an old school NES box. And then they flip around to the backside, and I'm like, those are NES graphics. And then they jump into here, and I'm like, this is an NES game.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting how they decided to do something like this? But there's more to it than just the NES graphics. And what I think is really cool about this game is that you can switch it to HD mode at any point that you want. So if you want to play this 8-bit look, you can. But if you want to play an HD look, you can switch it to that too. And I think that's really cool. And there's not many games that would do that.
I mean,
see, including HD mode. Look at that. It's like watching the movie or the TV show, but playing it.
I'm just confused. Like, okay, here's my thing, and we say this all the time. Who is this game for?
For me. It is for me, Dave. Okay? I don't care if I'm going to be the only one that buys this game. This game is for me, and I don't care if anybody else buys it or not. I'm going to get it. And the funny thing is,
specifically for Adam.
Yeah, I don't care if it's not a good-looking game to anybody else, but it's a fun-looking game to me. It's not going to be very long. This game, from what I saw, it's a small game. There's only 7 levels. It's a game you can beat in one sitting, so I can't imagine it's going to be more than $20, which I think is pretty cool. And it's going to be 1 to 2 player co-op, a bunch of mini games, different levels. Yeah, and the whole gang is going to be in the game, like Chucky, Dill, Lil, and Tommy. And the life system is set up like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So if you die, I don't know, I don't want to say baby's going to die. So a baby falls asleep from playing too much, and the next character comes in. So that's the life cycle. So that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, no, it's cool. And yeah, guys, this game was developed by Wall Ride Games, who just released the Jay and Silent Bob beat 'em up game, which I actually thought was pretty cool. And it's a traditional retro game. It's a puzzle platformer, and like Adam said, single player, multiplayer co-op. Yeah, I mean, I understand it, but are you a retro gamer? Is my question.
I mean, I like 2D. Am I going to play in the 8-bit? Most likely not. I'll probably play in the HD version.
Okay, but I mean,
because I like I love Rugrats. Like, that's one of my favorite shows growing up. So if there's anything Rugrats, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy it. Minus the new TV show. The new TV show with the CGI and the 3D look. Bleh, that's bad.
I mean, functionality, this is going to work as an NES game. Like, I just, you know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
And you're okay with it?
I like NES games. Like, you're making it seem like I never played the NES. I love NES.
You like the NES?
Yeah, I had one growing up.
I don't know. I just like I just
like Mario and stuff. I don't know. It looks fun to me.
I mean, I'm excited as a retro gamer. Like,
Yeah.
but like I really like that stuff. Do you think there's a big enough audience of retro gamers that also are Rugrats fans?
I would agree. I would think so. A lot of so it's a 90s TV show, right? It feels like the 90s TV show, but also the retro feel to it is kind of in line with that 90s, like early 90s feel. You know what I mean? Like those games back then. So I think it's going to be a pure nostalgia thing of like people my age, maybe a little bit older, love like that time of games and cartoons. So
I mean, I don't know. Like, is Rugrats in that time period though?
yeah, when was Rugrats? It was like early 1990s, maybe in the 80s. When was
Rugrats was not in the 80s.
Hold on, we'll see.
Rugrats had to be like
1989.
Was Rugrats?
Yes.
No, it was not.
Yep.
No, it was not. No way.
Yep.
Really?
Oh, well, it was 1991, but still, same thing.
When did it air on Nickelodeon?
1991. It was being developed in 1989.
And it aired on Nickelodeon in 1991.
Yes.
I feel like it was later than that. Because, like,
according to IMDb and Wikipedia and all these things that just popped up at once, 1991.
That seems so early to me.
Nope.
I don't know.
So it's in that time frame. I think it's in that time period.
I feel like
I'm excited about it, Dave.
I feel like I'm okay. So I feel like I'm a retro gamer, and like I feel like Rugrats was after my time. Rugrats was more of like,
you're just saying you're old, basically.
I'm old. I know I'm old, but like that's what I'm saying is like I feel like Rugrats was after my time. It was after the NES era. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sure it was. Like, I think it was on the border of like people still playing the NES, but also like new stuff is coming out for that new like group of people. You know what I mean?
I felt like Rugrats, or like around Rugrats time when Rugrats was actually like really popular, was more of like the end of the Super Nintendo era,
Probably, I don't know.
N64 era,
Maybe, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be cool, Dave. And if you're a retro gamer, you should think this is cool too. And to kind of go into it a little bit more, so the game was made on the NES. Like they literally used like the development of NES games for this game, and then they converted it to like HD and stuff for like obviously new consoles and stuff. And I think that's cool.
I love the fact that they're still making cartridge-based games, and this is I believe, if I read this right, this is coming out by Limited Run. And if you guys know anything about Limited Run, they actually put out a lot of retro games on the retro consoles still. And they're exclusive games that are exclusively for these consoles. I mean, they're putting out NES games like this. They're putting out Dreamcast games. Like I like that there's a company out there that's still kind of keeping the cartridge-based video game world alive.
Right.
So when it comes to like retro stuff, like I'm super excited about this. And don't get me wrong, I think it's a cool game. I like the Rugrats. I was concerned a little bit more about just the time period, because I felt like Rugrats might have been like an older kind of option. It almost like I would want them to go back even further. You know what I mean? Like if they were to tell me like, oh, we're putting out an NES Ren and Stimpy title, like I would be excited about that, because Ren and Stimpy was like, that was my era. You know what I mean? Like it was a little bit further back in the timeline. And I feel like, I don't know, like I'm kind of the retro game audience right now. And I just feel like maybe Rugrats is a little bit past my time. Now I could be totally wrong, but I don't know. That's all I was saying.
I understand, but I think this game I think having the two different looks to it helps a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that HD view gives it a little bit more of a younger feel for like the people that were going to play it in like that feel, but also to the people that may want to play that 8-bit, the NES look, it gives them that too. So I think it's cool in both senses. I think it caters to a wider audience than you think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that kind of proves my point a little bit, because like you might not be super excited about the retro aspect because you're looking to just where are you going to get this? You're going to get it on PC most likely.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
All right, you're going to get it on PC and play it in HD, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm the total opposite as a retro gamer. Like, I want to get the NES cartridge and play this in 8-bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
And,
understand.
I think maybe that's maybe kind of what I'm talking about a little bit, is it's like, is this really cool that it's a retro game, or is it just cool that a Rugrats game is coming out?
For me, it's cool that it's For me, it's cool that it's a Rugrats game.
Yeah. So I think unfortunately, like, I know you're hyped about it, but I do think unfortunately that like maybe this is not the best choice for a limited release retro game, but like this, but like it's limited run. I mean, it literally says it in the name. They're probably going to create like maybe 1,000 copies of this, and they will sell out just because they sell out of everything. So I'm sure they're not really like worried about making their money or
I don't think
anything
so.
like that. But that's all I was saying a little bit, is like it's a kind of a weird choice to go retro, but I'm excited you're getting the game. And I'm excited that they make retro games still. And you know me, I'm a huge retro game nerd, so I'm excited they still make them.
Yeah, and to kind of go into what the game is a little bit more, so there's going to be like different difficulty modes to it as well. So like there's going to be a baby mode where it's like easy, and then there's adult mode for like to make it harder. That's the two the difficulties. And I think that's kind of funny. They're going to have multi-layer bosses. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So the way the bosses are going to work is like you hit the boss and then they go like up a few layers. You have to like almost like chase them, rather than like, you know how like Sonic is, like you run to the end and you just keep jumping on Eggman over and over. Yeah. So I think that's cool that they're going to change it up a little bit so you can't learn the pattern as easily, I guess. So I thought that was interesting.
It's a cool option for a platformer like that. I've never really seen anybody do anything like that before.
Yeah, it's going to be multi-layered and it has a lot of verticality to it. And I thought that was cool. Rather than just straight 2D side scroller.
So do you know, I wasn't able to really find, is this just a purely platforming game, or is this a puzzle platforming game?
There's a little bit of puzzle aspects where like you have to pick up blocks and like move them over so you can like jump on like on stuff. Yeah. Like you have to, like I saw one part that like you have to pick up this flower, throw it on top of a block to go up to the next. There's a little bit of puzzle aspect to it. So
I like when they put the puzzle aspect in. I know you're not a huge puzzle guy, but I really like the puzzle and the puzzle.
It's like
platforming.
puzzle to the point where it's like obvious. You know what I mean? It's just another element to the game. It's not like we're like, I can't figure this out, I'm gonna quit. Like it's not like that. It's gonna be like, oh, I have to move this block over here, move this on top of that. Like that's the puzzle part.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the game, Dave.
I know you're excited for it. I think I'm gonna try to get it. I'm not gonna lie. Cool. I'm gonna try to get it just because it's it's nostalgia. It is nostalgia. I want the NES cartridge though, so we'll see if I get that.
Get it.
Yeah, we'll see if I get that. I don't know how many limited runs putting out. They'll probably be impossible to get, but if I get my hands on one, you guys best believe I'm gonna show it off.
I would expect nothing less. But with that said, moving on to our next retro game, but this one is getting a remaster.
A remaster. We're kind of keeping with the retro feel today. The next topic, guys, Turok 3, Shadow of Oblivion, the remaster.
And this is so he texted me, why are we talking about Rugrats? I texted him, why are we talking about Turok? So Dave, take it away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the reason we are talking about Turok is I felt like this is a great place to talk about Turok because not a lot of people talk about Turok. And the way that I like to describe Turok is the comic book franchise that nobody knows is a comic book franchise. Did you know that? Did you know that Turok was a comic book?
I mean, before we even like I didn't know Turok was a thing, so
Let's go.
I didn't know it was a game. I didn't know it was a comic book. So
okay, so Turok actually is a comic book franchise, and it's a comic book franchise that has been licensed into a video game, and no one seems to know that it's really a comic book franchise. So I thought this was a great place to kind of talk about that. The first appearance of Turok is in the Four Color Comics 596, which came out in 1994, and then he got his own series in 1995, which is called Turok Son of Stone. Which I actually really love this comic book, and it's a really great book. And if you have like one of those like e-reader subscriptions or anything like that where you can check out some of the Turok comics, check them out because they're actually super sweet. And the basic premise of it is that Turok is a Native American trapped in the Lost Valley of this like prehistoric New Mexico, right? So he's basically trapped with all of these prehistoric animals, and it's like a survival story of him like surviving the elements and fighting all these dinosaurs and like uncovering all of these ancient ruins and things like that. It's a very, very, very cool story. The way that I think about it is think about like if Tomb Raider took place in Jurassic Park.
Interesting. Honestly, when I first watched the trailer, I was like, oh, I'm getting a little like Tomb Raider, like a little bit of like just like the monsters and like zombies. I got like a whole bunch of that. Like it's kind of like a modge podge of everything.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool franchise, and it's a really cool comic, and not a lot of people really talk about it. But this is going to be a remaster. Do we have the trailer?
I have the trailer.
Let's take a look at the trailer.
Let it rip.
So if you take a look, we'll take a look at the remaster. So if you take a look at the remaster already, you can 100% get this like Tomb Raider kind of vibe, right? But then these monsters, like this is more of like this is more of like a very different type of monster. It's not like a Resident Evil. It's more of like it's definitely more of like a Jurassic Park, and I love the settings, and I think people are kind of sleeping on this franchise. Are you excited about this at all? You're probably not excited about it at all.
I think I'm not excited about it because I've never played it, and like it's one of those things. It's hard for me to go back to games that are so old, if that makes sense. Like games that, unless it's a game I know I played when I was a kid, it's hard for me to go back.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I understand that. So, guys, if you're just listening on the Spotify or anything like that, we're getting some gameplay footage, and they've really kind of remastered it and made it look very great. But if you're unfamiliar with the Turok franchise, basically what we're kind of looking at is almost this GoldenEye style first-person shooter that was just perfectly built for the N64 era. And I think a lot like you have the nostalgia with the Rugrats, like I have a nostalgia with Turok.
And I think that's who it's for.
Yeah, I really, really, really love this franchise. And I think, like I said, it's a comic book franchise that not a lot of people know is a comic book franchise. It's a very, very well done game on the N64. It was very challenging. It wasn't very buggy. It always felt very fair. Whenever you died in Turok, you felt like, oh damn, I messed up. Not like the game was screwed up.
Right.
And I really, really like it. And this is going to be the third installment. So this is going to drop on November 14th. The studio is Night Dive Studios. They're putting this out as the remastered number 3, and they actually already remastered number 1. And if you take a look on Steam, both 1 and 2 rated very, very highly on Steam. So number 1 is a 10 out of 10. Number 2 is a 9 out of 10. So the people that are aware that this franchise exists and have played these games before really, really like them. And I think it might be a game that you guys might not have heard of, and you should definitely at least give it a shot and check it out, especially if you're into that like GoldenEye style N64 first-person shooter. It's an amazing game with an amazing story, and I'm kind of super excited for it.
I'm glad you're super excited about it because I just don't know enough. And I think it might be one of those games, if I see it on sale, I'll be like, you know what? Dave told me to try this game. I'm going to, because I did love like the GoldenEye feel. Like I love those games growing up. So I guess I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot
Give
when
it
I'm
a
done.
sh-
When I'm
yeah.
done with Starfield.
When you're done with Starfield and Rugrats, give it a shot because it's definitely a franchise worth looking into. Turok Dinosaur Hunter came out in 1997, so it's kind of towards the tail end of the N64 era. So I know we're still going back to the N64 era, but we're going to the tail end where the development was about as good as it was ever going to get. And then Turok 2 came out in 1998. Turok 3 came out in 2000. So like these games, I mean, 2000s, we're talking PS1 was out. You know what I mean? So like this is the end of the life cycle of the N64. The development is as good as it was going to get for that for that piece of hardware. So yeah, check it out. I really, really like it. I think it's a cool game. It's a cool game with a cool story that not a lot of people have ever really played. And like, it was weird to me that this game these remasters weren't getting any noise, right? Because when GoldenEye remastered for the Switch, everybody freaked out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, this is kind of the same feel, but no one really cared as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm just like sitting over here. I was just like sitting over here, like, guys, what about Turok? Like, Turok is pretty cool. It's like, GoldenEye's the best.
Right.
Yeah. So, guys, check it out. This one does drop on November 14th. If you never played the series before, I would recommend jump over to Steam, check out Turok Dinosaur Hunter. It's a 10 out of 10 on Steam, so people that did play it do really, really like it. I think they did an amazing job with the remaster. Again, the story is really good. If you like the GoldenEye first-person shooter N64 era style stuff, definitely a game to check out. And if you make it all the way through the first and second remaster, number 3 will be available for you very, very soon.
There we go. In November
14th.
I'd love to hear it.
There's one reason why Adam doesn't really love this series, and we'll just be honest to the fans out there, and that's because Adam was not the hugest N64 guy. Am I right, Adam?
I just didn't play it very often.
He just didn't play it that often. So, in order to see just how little Adam has played the N64, we thought it would be funny to do a little bit of a guess the character of N64 characters. We're going to throw some N64 characters up on the screen and see how many Adam can get right.
Okay,
are you ready?
I am ready. Guess your character N64.
Number
N64
1. Version number 1.
I think this one's pretty obvious, just based off the eyebrow raise and like just the facial structure. This is The Rock.
It is The Rock, yeah.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That was a bone.
I eased you into it. Okay, number 2.
Number 2. Oh man,
who is this guy?
He's also somebody that looks very famous.
He's got the little hat, the little mustache.
Yeah, little hat. This isn't Al Capone. I don't know, who is it?
It is not it's not Al Capone. That is Oddjob from the N64 GoldenEye.
Oh really? Wow.
That is cheater Oddjob. You cannot. It has been confirmed 20 years later. It is cheating to use Oddjob in multiplayer GoldenEye. Okay, next.
Got a little crown on his head, holding a coffee cup. This isn't Tails, is it? From Sonic?
No.
Foxman? King Fox?
No, it is not. It is not King Fox. Okay, this is Conkers, and he is a drunk squirrel, star of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Okay.
Have you never played Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Nope.
Oh my God, you need to play Conker's Bad Fur Day. I have no idea how Nintendo let that game out, but it's basically about a drunk squirrel trying to get home to his girlfriend.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I think I know who this is. Is this Gandalf?
Gandalf?
I don't know. Am I close?
Lord of the Rings Gandalf?
Oh no! Dang it! You're gonna say his name. I'm gonna feel like, oh crap.
I'm gonna give you that one. This is Ganon from
Ganon.
Zelda.
Oh. Yeah. Oops, I was close. Gandalf, Ganon, same difference.
This is Ganon from.
Oops, sorry, all you Lord of the Rings fans and all you Legends of Zelda fans.
Zelda fans and LOTR fans everywhere are just like, oh my God, blasphemy.
Yeah, right. All right, the
Okay.
last one.
Last but not least, who we got?
Turtle robot. I don't know. Oh no, that's a frog. That's a frog. Frog robot. That's a frog,
no.
not a turtle.
No, this is not a frog robot. This is actually Slippy, the most important member of the Star Fox team.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Whatever.
okay. It's all right. You got the rock. You got the rock.
I got
It's
the
okay.
rock. I got the other
You got-
4 wrong.
You got the rock, and we're gonna give you Ganon. But you have
Okay.
proved that you did not indeed play a lot of N64.
No, not at all. Which you have played a lot of N64. So
I've played a lot of N64.
I have 5 N64 games that I want you to blindly rank. So blind ranking of N64 games. Are you ready?
Let's go. Born ready. Let's go.
Starting it off with Mario Party 3.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna put it at a 4.
Okay.
I'm not a huge 2-player guy. I'm a single player guy. Yeah, I'm a single player guy. I'm gonna put it at a 4.
Wave Race 64.
Oh, yo, I love Wave Race. Oh no, but did you give me better options than Wave Race? I'm gonna put Wave Race at 3. It's better than Mario Party. Wave Race is better than Mario Party. I'm throwing it out there.
Safe bet. Okay, your next choice, Star Fox 64.
Bangers, dude. You're throwing bangers at me.
I am.
I'm gonna go number 2. Star Fox is going number 2. So hopefully you gave me one amazing game and one terrible game.
All right, your next choice is 007 GoldenEye.
You gave me something better, dude. I should have put Mario Party at a 4. Dang it.
What do you mean a 5? You should have put it at a 5.
Yeah, I should have put it at a 5. Oh, balls, dude. I gotta put it at a 1. I gotta put it at 1 and hope you give me a terrible game.
All right, Dave. Your number 5 is The Legends of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Dude, you freaking screwed me, dude.
I did. Hey, you always land these blind rankings pretty good. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it impossible for him to get his favorite game of all time as his number 1.
Horrific.
So you, Dave, you put Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time at a 5.
Fire me.
At a 5, Dave.
I am fired from the Let's Talk Nerdy podcast. I'm sorry, guys.
You let that. Yeah, I let them down by calling Gandalf. And you let them down by putting the game at a 5.
I cannot believe I just ranked my favorite game of all time as a 5.
You sure did. That's so funny.
Sad. I'm so sad right now. Okay, I'm gonna get over it. All right, that's okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm not gonna get over it. I'm not
Are you
gonna get
back-
over it.
are
I'm
you
not
back
getting
yet?
over it. No, I'm not.
All right,
Okay.
take a second. Take a second.
No, it's all right. Next game.
Keep
Let's
rolling.
go.
All right, moving forward. Prince of Persia Lost Crown. So kind of another, it's not retro because it's a new game, but the last time that Prince of Persia got a game was 13 years ago.
Yeah, and it was not a 2D.
No, it was
Yeah.
not.
I'm super excited. We should roll the trailer for this one first because I have a
Mm.
lot to say about this one, but I
Mm-hmm.
think you need to see what we're talking about first.
I agree because I am also super excited.
I'm
If
so excited for
I-
this game, dude.
All right, let it rip in 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, guys, so if you're just listening on the Spotify, what we're seeing right now is like a very pretty 2D side scroller with like some really interesting combat mechanics.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, very it's much different than any other side scroller I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and the story looks amazing.
Yeah. It's just the art style, the mechanics of the game. I just think it's so cool. And the abilities that you're going to have as his name is Sagon? Is that if I'm pronouncing it right?
I believe you are, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Sagon. So you're playing as Sagon, not the actual Prince of Persia. Your objective is to save the Prince of Persia, from what I've read and what I've watched.
Yeah. The Prince of Persia has been captured, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're set to kind of like be the hero in this one to go save the prince. But I think like I wish I had a better word for it other than just pretty. But like I'm trying to think of a better word, but the atmosphere is like incredible.
Yeah.
Don't you feel that way?
I agree. And I think to kind of go off of just pretty, it seems very fluid as well. Oh, no, that's probably my favorite part. It looks like you're going to have a part where you have to like face yourself. So I think that's kind of cool.
Almost like a Dark Link like style or something.
Yeah, and this one comes out January 18th, but there's a lot to this game, and I think it's really exciting for Ubisoft to put a game like this because they've been handling themselves well this year, I think, in terms of like games that they're releasing. A lot of good things are coming out for the Crew Motorfest. Like the early reviews about it is really good. But this game, I think, is really cool. It's supposed to be like a Metroidvania, so I thought that was kind of neat. You'll have different abilities. There's different puzzles, and there's precise mechanics to the game where like. So with the puzzles, you have to like make sure you hit something, like you have to hit this box that'll like make platforms for you, but you have to be precise about it. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I think the platforming itself, especially in a 2D Prince of Persia game, super exciting to me because it almost gives you in like, guys, if you're like a retro kind of player like me, you'll kind of understand a little bit about what I'm saying, but it almost has that like Ninja Gaiden type of like very fluid, like it's very difficult platforming, but it's very fluid platforming. Like it's gonna take you a while to get through sections, but when you get through sections, it's because like you have learned like the fluidity of that section, and to complete that like series of events just feels so good. I love that style of like, I love that style of gameplay. It's so cool.
I agree. And part of it, so what I've read with the game and like part of the gameplay reviews and trailers that I've seen is like, it's a game that starts off really easy, like gets your confidence way up, and then it just hits you hard. So be aware of that. Like you may start the game like, oh wow, this is easy. Like this game might not be that fun because it's so easy. But no, from what I've watched and what I've read, it's like it's gonna hit you hard when it does. And then I like the different like enemies in the game. So there's one enemy that it will instantly teleport you to the dungeon if it hits you.
Really?
Yeah, like you can't fight him. You have to like kind of bob and weave and get out of the way. But if he hits you, you're going back to the dungeon.
Damn, that's crazy.
So, yeah, and you have to make your way back to that. Yeah, I watched a pretty extended video of like the gameplay and stuff like that. And so to the abilities, you'll have different abilities, but the abilities will be able to be like transformed to the way you want to play the game. Does that make sense? Like, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then one of the biggest mechanics of the game is you have to parry a lot to like fill up your meter to give up, like to use your like special abilities, like your most powerful abilities. So I thought it was pretty cool.
And now everybody out there knows why this is a game that I'm super excited about.
Because you can parry. Although Dave plays these games, but he's like, I don't like to parry.
Listen, okay. I don't rely on the parry, okay? Everybody relies on the parry. I don't always rely on the parry. But the fact that these mechanics are in place and part of the game typically means that it's a game that I enjoy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's typically, I don't want to call it a Souls-like because it's not a Souls-like, but it typically has aspects of games that I enjoy.
And that's fine. Like, because even with the big bosses, like it's gonna have different stages. So you beat the first stage, you get the second stage. So it's gonna have that element as well. So, like you said, it has elements of like those types of games. I don't even want to say like it's not Souls-like, but it's like elements from that kind of genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's you would never say that it's a Souls-like. I would never say that it's a Souls-like. But what I will say is, like we're talking about, it does pull things from those types of games that I really enjoy. So like this game has promised a sprawling, interconnected map, right? So like you know that I love that type of thing where it's like you've explored this map and then all of a sudden you unlock one door and it's like, oh my God, this is like a complete loop. Like it's a complete wraparound back to an area that I've already been. Like, oh my God, that's what this door was that I was trying to get open before and stuff like that. Like I absolutely love that style stuff. So to have something like that in the game is super, super sweet. Again, talking about the parries. I'm not a parry guy. I'm really not. I parry in Sekiro because you have to. Anybody that knows who's played Sekiro knows you cannot beat that game without parrying. It's not possible. It's not possible. So like I do
Challenge
parry
accepted.
I'm sure somebody has beaten it without parrying, but it is dang hard. I can guarantee that. But the idea that parrying is an option means that like the fighting mechanics and the game style, the type of gameplay is something that I'm going to most likely be interested in. We talked about the 2-phase bosses, which means that we're looking at very wicked, epic, large-scale boss battles, which you know I'm a huge fan of. You talked a lot on being able to customize your character a little bit. And the way that you're going to do that is through the use of amulets that really kind of augment your abilities. So we all know I like building my character the way that I want to have it be built. You touched on puzzles. So again, there's like Tomb Raider style puzzles that I think is really cool. They've also promised combat finishers, which I thought was pretty sweet. So you can get to these like maxed out points where you have this like sick like Mortal Kombat style finishing move.
Yeah, like the X-ray.
Yeah, like they've introduced that. So it's like they pulled a lot of really cool aspects from a bunch of games that I really enjoy into this one game. And I think they kind of made the Prince of Persia like franchise what it should be. You know what I mean? Like this is always what I felt like the Prince of Persia should be. I know they dipped their toes in the 3D kind of space, and for whatever reason, it just didn't hold true. And I think that this is kind of the game that Prince of Persia fans really, really want. They brought in all these cool aspects of different types of games, and the main thing that they kept intact from the Prince of Persia was the time manipulation, which is really the only thing that makes Prince of Persia like kind of exclusive. Like it's standalone. It's the only one in the series where you can rewind time and kind of redo things. And they left that intact. So I think this is honestly a return to the franchise that people really want, and I think people are going to be super excited about this.
I mean, I've never played the Prince of Persia, and I'm super excited about this game. I just like we've been saying, it's like it looks very fluid. The story looks really cool. The abilities, the gameplay mechanics, it just looks fun, and I find myself enjoying more of that side scroller like platform type of game where it's like linear. This one's not linear though, but I'm enjoying myself doing those more so than a lot of other types of games right now, and I'm excited for this one.
Yeah,
I will say there's one bad thing about this game though.
Oh no.
It's not coming out till next year. I actually like this is a game I'm excited about that I wish is like right around the corner. But
I was waiting for you to be like it's PC only, Steam.
Oh no,
Steam
it's
only
on everything.
Like that.
I think it's on everything except for the Switch. It's on everything except. Oh wait, no, it's on the Switch too.
Is it on the Switch?
It is on the Switch too. So on everything.
Switch is gonna die soon.
Well, they're gonna come out with the Switch too.
No.
So, but I'm excited for this game. I just, like I said, there's a lot of games coming out that I'm excited for, but this is at the top of my list. I honestly can say that. There's a lot of games on my list, but this one is very high up there.
Yeah, there's a lot of games on my list as well, but this one is definitely one that I will be playing. And you guys should check it out if you guys like the Prince of Persia series, or if you like 2D side scrollers, or you like some Souls-like elements, if you like Tomb Raider, if you like that. This is going to cater to such a huge audience of gamers that I think there's going to be an aspect of this game that I think pretty much any gamer can kind of latch onto and think like, oh, it's kind of cool. So definitely check it out.
Yeah. So kind of going off of let's do a side topic real quick. I have a side topic. Throwing a topic in here that we haven't even talked about. What do you think of where the handheld gaming space is right now? What is your opinions on it? Do you think it's dying? Do you think it's making a different comeback in terms of like, you know, the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, what's the new one? There's like the Legion, like the Legion Go. Like there's a lot coming out. And then now Switch is supposed to announce something coming up.
I think the handheld space, the actual handheld space is dead already. I think it's dead. I think it's dead already because what you're talking about isn't so much handheld consoles anymore as much as they're just like miniature travel versions of actual consoles. Does that make sense? Like if you went back, like say you go back, right?
Yep.
Go back to the birth of handheld.
Yep.
They made titles for handheld. You know,
Right.
like Pokemon Red came out on Game Boy. You know what I mean? Like they made stuff for the handhelds.
Yeah.
They're just making portable consoles. That's all they're making.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where I feel with it.
Do you think that they're worth the $700 price tag that some of them have? Like the new one has a $700 price tag, and it's a mini PC in your pocket or in your backpack.
Absolutely not. But you also have to understand. You have to understand where we are in the gaming world, right? So and we say this all the time, and I hate to say it, but like I'm old, dude. Like I'm old. I live alone. I have a pretty sweet setup where I can play video games whenever I want, and I don't. When I'm not here, like I'm busy. You know, like when I'm not out in the world playing video games. You know what I mean? Like if I'm out, I'm not playing games. So like for me to have a handheld console doesn't make any sense. But I mean, there's people where having a handheld console does make sense. Like maybe they travel all the time, so they're playing on an airplane, or they're playing on a bus, or they're playing in a hotel room, or they're there's people that have like jobs where they work overnights, and maybe it's something where they're doing a job but they have some downtime, so like having a console around them is something that would be kind of cool. Or maybe it's a kid who like it takes it to school. You got like 2 hours before your mom picks you up because your mom works or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's situational based. But for me, no, they're not worth the money.
I think so. This is my kind of opinion on it. I think they're really cool for people that, let's say, like you said, they can't travel a lot or they do travel a lot and they can't afford like a high-end PC, and they want to do the PC gaming realm. But on that note, our phones are becoming handheld gaming devices. Like you can play Xbox games on your phone. The limitation with that though right now is internet. Like if you don't have a good internet base, like the cloud gaming crashes all the time. It's really skippy. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for like the internet of a phone to just be so good. Like you can play a game in 1080p on your phone and like no stutters or anything like that.
I mean, if it comes to that, you can most likely kiss the handhelds goodbye for good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's all situational based. I think it's all situational based. For me, honestly, and I know this is kind of blasphemy to handheld players, the handheld industry to me is just officially dead. I have zero interest in it just because, everything that we talked about, like I have my gaming setup. When I'm here, I'm playing games. When I'm out in the world, I'm not really playing games. It's just not for me. So the industry itself has been dead for me for a while. The only thing that I really enjoy about handhelds is like there's some handheld exclusive retro stuff.
Yeah.
And that I do like to play. Like if you're talking about like, I'm a huge Zelda fan, right? So they have like Zelda cartridges that only came out on Game Boy, like like Four Seasons and like stuff like that. Like those games only exist in a handheld retro kind of place, and that holds a place in my heart still. But anything new is just like,
I think that's what's going to keep Nintendo alive is just the exclusives that it has so much. Like if they start like, let's start putting Nintendo games on the PC, the Switch and Nintendo like consoles are going to die if that's the case.
Yeah, Nintendo consoles will die. Just because they're not, I don't want to say
they're not strong enough.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't want to say they're underpowered, but I'm trying to think of a better word for it, but they're not. There's no better word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they don't live
they're
up to the
just-
performance of like the Xbox, the PC, and then some of these gaming handhelds, like or the PC handhelds or whatever they're called. And so,
Yeah, their exclusivity and characters and gaming franchises is the only thing keeping them alive.
right, I agree.
You know what I mean? And I
Yep.
literally, I'm the dude that bought the Switch just because I wanted to play Breath of the Wild. Like I
Yeah,
am
right.
that. I am that guy. I played Breath of the Wild, never touched it again. Then Breath of the Wild 2 came out. I played Breath of the Wild 2, and then I still haven't. So I've touched my Switch 2 times to play 2 games, and that's it.
That's kind of like me right now with my PlayStation 5, only to play Spider-Man when that comes
Only to
out.
play Spider-Man. Yeah, exactly. So,
But I'm buying Mortal Kombat on the PlayStation 2. I'm starting to put games on there because like it's gonna be nice to like offload my PC a little bit. So
come to the dark side. Come to the
yeah.
come to the console dark side where your
I
games
literally
always
own
work.
every like major console at this point now. Like I have a PS5, a PS4, a PS3, Xbox, Xbox One, Switch. Like I have it all at this point. So
Guys, put down in the comments, Adam, give up PC life. Come to the dark side of consoles where everything works and everything is easy.
yeah, let's see. I've been playing Starfield on my PC and it looks glorious. So
Come to the dark side, Adam. Come to
All
the
right.
dark side.
great episode.
Great episode.
Little side
dude.
topic there.
Little side topic there. Great episode, dude. This is good. My guys, I know we say this a lot, but this one's really, really special. I just wanted to, we wanted to say thank you for everything. We're coming super, super close to 500 subs
500.
on the YouTube, which is like a really big milestone. So thank you guys for everything. We really, really do appreciate that. And if you're listening, and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do, and help us get to 500. We would super, super, super appreciate it. Adam, what you got for him?
Make sure to share with some friends. Bring your friends over to Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast.
Share with some friends. The more the merrier. Our nerdy
yeah.
community is kind of growing like a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. Bring the friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that one.
And if you're not following us on all social media, make sure to do so. Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast. And check out our website, letstalknerdypodcast.com. And be ready for lots of games to come out. Mortal Kombat's coming out, The Crew, Spider-Man, Wild Card. There's a plethora of games coming out, and we're super excited. So be on the lookout for some of our reviews. And yeah.
That is it. We love you guys very, very much. Thank you for everything. And we will see y'all on the next one.
Peace out, nerds.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-